Hey guys, Chris from Amp Life, and it's been a while since I've seen you, and I've had a proper chat with you guys. And the reason for that is, and it's my topic for today, is it's fear and anxiety. And it's a crazy thing, but generally speaking, I'm quite a confident person. I as a therapist, as a counsellor, I work with people almost every day of my life who share their struggles with me, their losses with me. And throughout that process, I'm generally a confident person. I work at a clinic where we do lectures. I've done talks in front of 1,000 people in a school hall, for example. And whenever I do this, I walk into the stage or the room or wherever it is that I'm working with my practice, and I feel okay about who I am. But every now and then, my curiosity is overtaken by something I know as fear, anxiety too, but generally as fear. And I think back on a time in my life when I was filled with fear, pre my amputation and for a while after my amputation, and I wonder what changed. Why do I have periods of anxiety and fear and periods of confidence and curiosity? And I do think that connectedness is the opposite of anxiety and fear. And the connectedness to you guys, for example, leads to the curiosity and confidence that I need to interact and to do my job, the work that I love, and to have relationships with people, including a relationship with myself. So then what goes wrong? And I was thinking back in a time when life was getting better for me. I had started dealing with being an amputee, having a disability. I had stopped abusing opiates. I'd stopped drinking completely. That was 10, almost 11 years ago. And I have a clear memory of driving my car. I had just sold my business and I was driving along the coast, and I was overcome by a feeling of relief and tried to figure it out in the moment because it felt so good. And as I was driving along, thinking about it, it occurred to me, really dawned on me that what had happened is I was not scared of life anymore. I'd lost fear of life and of the future, and that feeling of impending doom had left me, that I felt good about myself and I felt good about my prospects. So that was 11 years ago. And more recently, and you guys will know, I've been offline for almost 2 months, and I'm sorry about that, but I'm back, and I'm back hoping to do this more regularly. And I thought, why not start being back on YouTube, on the Amp Life, with a discussion of why it is that I've been absent for a while. And the simple answer is fear, driven by anxiety that what I do is not good enough. Now, look, I know intellectually that is not true. That's the feedback I get from the people I work with, the people that come and see me, as well as the team that I work with at a clinic. It's the feedback I get from friends. It's the feedback I get from my family, and not necessarily verbally, but non-verbally in terms of the relationship that we have. They don't actually have to say, we think you're okay, but it's up to me to decide based on the quality of our relationship that surely there's a reciprocal relationship here, and that I fulfill my part in that relationship, and I meet needs that they have just as they meet needs that I have in our relationship. And it got me to thinking that how in the early days of being an amputee, I was constantly living a life of fear. And I was thinking of you guys and wondering if you have similar experiences. And if you do, I'd love to hear about it, and mention them in the comments. And I'd like to explore some of those and come back on this channel and talk about those with you guys. But I'm going to go back to the day that I heard for the first time I'd most probably lose my leg, and driving back from the doctor's rooms home, I was completely overcome by emotion and started crying for the first time in, I think it's like 4 years since the accident. And yeah, and completely overcome by emotions and the relief of just letting it out and being able to share it with somebody was immense. And so what I'm suggesting is that whenever I feel overwhelmed by an emotion, the best thing I can do is what I encourage other people to do, which is to share it as I am doing now. It doesn't make me a weaker person or a less a person with less experience or less to give. It's just the truth, and the relief, even as I feel it now, of putting it out there, frees me up and really helps me to get on with things again, to go from a place of fear and anxiety to a place of connectedness and curiosity and intent to live well. So if I think of some of the fears that I had as an early amputee, I think my biggest one was that I wouldn't be good enough for people in my life, for them to want to pursue a relationship with me. And it's quite crazy in many respects, but understandable from the position of the amputee or the person struggling at that moment. For instance, I had small thoughts like my kids were small then, I wouldn't be able to carry them up the stairs if they fell asleep in front of the television, for example, or after playing outside, or I wouldn't be able to run on the beach and play frisbee with them, or I wouldn't be able to help them in a situation of a physical need, or if they're threatened in a situation. That all undermined my confidence a lot. Also, a second aspect that was the reason for a lot of anxiety and fear is simply the presentation as an amputee, is whether people would experience me as being less than or deficient somehow, or would they treat me differently, and that often stopped me from engaging in physical activities and ultimately spilled over into social events, and I became quite isolated and recluse. And the signs for me that I am not dealing with a certain emotion, particularly anxiety and fear, is isolation. It's when I start withdrawing that I realize, and I get the feedback from people around me that I realize there's something going on that you're not dealing with. So why am I telling you guys this morning? Well, firstly, kind of selfish reasons, which is for me to free myself from this feeling that I've been having. How does this translate into what we do here is the sense that whatever it is that I'm going to share with you guys today wouldn't be interesting or it wouldn't be good enough. It goes as far as worrying about the environment that I'm sitting in. And to make myself feel better, I've put a picture on the screen today of one of the previous videos I've made where I go hiking in the mountain. Yeah, these are the things that undermines my quality of life and the quality of my relationships with others as well as with myself. So my short message today to you guys is that from time to time we will be faced with anxieties and possibly even with fear. And I don't care how confident a person is or how much experience we've had, the chances that we will face loss, fears, anxieties are pretty much 100%. The only question is when that happens is what we're going to do with that. For me, my relief, my solution is in sharing it, is in busting the secret is my mantra, which is essentially that if I have this feeling and I'm holding on to it, I'm not willing to share it, I'm holding on to a secret, and I become a hostage to the secret, whatever that insecurity or that fear is. But the moment I put it out there, like I am now, this is quite a public platform, but even shared in a more intimate relationship with a family member or a friend or somebody who can help me, that feeling of being a hostage to the fear dissipates. It starts going away, and I feel relieved and freed up to live the kind of life that I believe I can live for myself and for the people around me. So look, guys, I just want to thank you for listening today. Thank you for the opportunity to put it out there. And I'm wondering if you can identify, and if you can identify, I'd love to hear from you. Put it in the comments below, and I would like to give feedback to those who put their comments in on an open platform where I'll read the comment and feed it back and give you my thoughts on those as a person, as an amputee, as well as a therapist, a trained therapist. So thank you for listening, and my promise is to make a video, a more active video, and here I go again with my fears that the video might not be good enough, but to put videos out there that particularly will help with the thing that we are all here for, which is to live life and deal with life as an amputee. I really look forward to seeing you guys in the next one, and until then, see ya. Ciao.